Greetings, Legionists, Loyalists, Traitors, Xenos, and other sort of entities of Warhammer 40k. This is Arndelft and XL Pudding. Alright, so today we are going to be starting a series of battle reports. This one strictly is going to be Dark Vengeance, and in the future we're going to be doing Dark Imperium, and then we're going to be combining the two, Imperium versus Chaos, all with 8th edition rules. And go ahead and introduce my battle force here. As you can see, my models are not the singularly best painted in the universe, but the one thing that I am proxying here is that I no longer have the sergeants from the Dark Vengeance set, so I'm kind of using this very poorly stripped down sergeant, mainly because he did have a plasma pistol before I lost it, and I intend to put it back on once I have, but he was one of the few sergeants I had who didn't just have a bolt pistol sitting there. But as you can see, the paint job on him seriously is not fully stripped off yet. But besides that, I just have more terrible paint jobs. It's okay though, because XL Pudding's Force will make up for it with actually good paint jobs. But if it's any consolation, that Dark Angel back there, his paint job. And he does look pretty good. But in any case, getting to the actual force itself. Alright, so we've got my Librarian and Company Master Balthazar, and the Librarian does have every single character in this force, independent or otherwise, has a name. Yep. I just can't remember them all. But in any case, my Librarian and my Company Master.
What do they have?
Okay. So yeah, my Librarian just has a Force Sword and Bolt Pistol, and his one power that he has access to is strictly Smites. This is a Dark Vengeance thing in both 7th and 8th edition. Balthazar has a Combi Plasma, Power Sword, and Frag and Crack Grenades. And he has the standard Captain stats in other respects, where he has an Iron Halo and whatnot, even though he technically doesn't actually have an Iron Halo on him, but whatever. Anyways, I've got my bikers back there, with the sergeant having a chainsword, and then just a standard biker there on the left with his bolt pistol, and then here, this biker having a plasma gun. Alright, moving on to my death... Oh, that was my Raven Wing, sorry. This is my Death Wing. My captain having a power sword and storm bolter. Then I've got an assault cannon with a regular power fist, a chain fist with regular storm bolter, and then 2 regular power fist and storm bolter guys. And then finally, last but not least, we've got this squad with my sergeant having a plasma pistol and chainsword. He's my only proxy. And then the rest of the squad has, well, I've got a plasma gun back there and a plasma cannon. And then the rest of the squad just has regulation bolters and bolt pistols like all regular Space Marine tacticals do. Alright. And that pretty much sums up my force, which is the standard Dark Vengeance force. Now we're going to go ahead and cover the Crimson Slaughter side of things. And I'll let XL Pudding take over.
Alright guys, so like we said, this is the Dark Vengeance starter set. It's kind of dark with me looming over the light, so I'm going to do that. So in this set, we have Cranon the Relentless. He's just your typical old Chaos Lord. He has a Power Sword and a Plasma Pistol, Sigil of Corruption, and he does just the generic Chaos Lord stuff, which like rerolling 1s to hit. We have Rosh Tattersoul, who's a character that came with the Crimson Slaughter. I was able to find the rules for these guys. He lets friendly Crimson Slaughter within 4 inches of him reroll to wound rolls in the fight phase. And then he does something for himself versus characters if he fights them. And then everything, both Cranon, Vrash, and the Chosen will have Death to the False Emperor, which is on 6s, and to hit, they get an extra attack, which automatically hits. So they have that. So Vrash has a lot more rules that I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. We've got a 10-man tactical squad, 10-man cultist squad, which have the brutal assault weapons and auto pistols with a flamer attached. And here's their cultist champion.
Who looks like a tech priest.
We've got another squad, which their champion has a shotgun, and then a heavy stubber with 9 auto guns. Then I have Dravit's Ravengers. I don't exactly know how to say that, but essentially everything here is WYSIWYG. The Chosen cannot normally have this many weapon ranges, but the starter set lets them have what they have equipped. So one guy simply has twin lightning claws, so 2 lightning claws. This guy has a bolt pistol, power fist, and a bolt gun. He has a bolt gun, bolt pistol, power maul. That guy right there, that dude, he has a powered axe, bolt pistol, bolt gun. We have then these 2 regular guys, which just have bolt guns and bolt pistols. And he also has a power axe, bolt pistol, and a combi melta. And then the one thing is this guy, he has a multi-melta, heavy flamer, and a Hellbrute power fist, or Hellbrute fist, whatever they're calling it now. So that is the Dark Vengeance Chaos side. One thing to mention about Ben's forces also, over here, is the Deathwing Terminators will never have to do a morale check, or leadership test, or whatever it is now. And then the Ravenwing Bikers have the special rule called Jink, which if they advance, they will get a invuln save of something. Can't remember exactly the number. I think it's a 4+. Might be a 5+. Other than that, everything else is the same. And I think his librarian's name is Termiel.
Termiel.
Yep.
Oh, and one last thing on Baltazar. He also apparently automatically passes morale tests. Go figure. He's got the same thing the Deathwing Company does. And then... Oh, yeah. And when fighting Fallen, they get bonuses. But we're not fighting any Fallen. So there's not exactly a whole lot of point in quickly looking that up. Oh, also, I believe he does give battle rights.
Yep, which is just reroll 1s.
Yeah, but that's also for any Dark Angels within 6 inches of him, which...
the commander typically gets that for every army I've seen so far.
Yeah, it's a pretty normal thing, battle rights is, so it's standard. But in any case, that wraps up the first part of this video. We're going to go ahead and begin deployment after this. But I'm going to go ahead and let XL Pudding cover the type of mission that we're going to be running and whatnot.
Okay, guys. So first off, we're going to only play, since our forces are pretty small, we're playing on a 4x4. So that's why this is a pretty small board.
Personally, I think he wanted a smaller board so his force would actually stand a chance. We'll, see.
Oh, and that's another thing to actually mention is balance. We have no idea what the balance is. We're actually not going by points because we just kind of took the models and stuck them in. The points of the Terminators or of the Space Marines came out a lot higher than the Chaos Force by like 300 points or something.
But you're higher in power level.
But technically, I am higher in power level by only like 2 points. So that force right there, my desk is a mess, but this force is technically 38 power level. And his force is 32 power level. So, power level wise, I am better.
It's a 5 points.
Because that one. So, something to mention about that. The reason why I'm a higher power level.
Actually, that's 6 points. You'd be higher on the way.
A chosen squad normally only comes with a champion and 4 guys. And then if you want to take additional, whether it's only 1 additional guy or not, you have to pay the full for the additional 5, even if you only are going to add 1. But the only way we could sense even doing this realistically is just saying we're just going to... It didn't matter what the power level or the point value was. We were just going to play it.
Yeah, it's starter set versus starter set. So we're going to run it as that.
So the mission is the Relic. So apparently, we just went through it all. Here we have the Relic. It told us what to do. We set up the board. This little crack symbolizes exactly halfway. And it had to be in the middle. So that little die right there is going to be the Relic. In this mission, the Relic can only be held by an infantry unit. And at the end of the game, if you have an infantry unit that's holding it, your team gets a major victory. If you have the closest infantry model to the relic, you get a minor victory. Or if each team has equal infantry and equal distance to the relic, it's a draw. So there's no victory points or nothing. It's just a matter of getting that dice with your infantry. And it's variable game length. And I don't think there's anything else besides Ben got to choose he got to choose is a relative word. He got to roll for the map and choose the side. In this map, it didn't really matter. He chose this side over here.
This side.
And I'm deploying on this side. And yeah, I get to deploy first, then we do rotating deployment.
Yeah, and one other thing to notate about the relic is that 9 inches, you can't move over 9 inches when you have the relic. So if you were doing an advanced roll and you happen to roll a 6 on it, you'd still only be able to move 9 with at least that infantry model who has the relic on him.
Right, correct. So if you can move 6 and you roll a 6 for your advance, you can't move with a full 12. You can only move 9 just for the model that's holding the relic. That doesn't mean the unit cannot move more than 9 inches. But that specific model that picks up the relic can only move 9 inches. So whenever one of our entry squads picks up a relic, we're going to have to nominate a certain individual that has it.
Yeah, and we have to hold it until the end of the game. Right. We can't just run it to the side of our board and try to run off the map with it. That's not going to be a victory. You're not allowed to go off the board with it.
Yep. So we're going to start deploying now, and then we'll be back.
All right, toodles.
Alright guys, so this is after deployment, going back and forth. So my first deployment, I deployed Tattersall right there.
The coward.
Yep, he hid. Even though he can't be targeted because of his character, but
he's still a coward.
He hid there. I then deployed some cultists up here with their autoguns in the ruins. So they're going to get a 5+ armor save instead of a 6. I then put the cultists with the brutal assault weapons right there in relation to the battlefield. Then I put my lord here, and then I put my Hellbrute here. I put it way back because if he seized, and I was going to put it like right up here somewhere, that plasma cannon way over there could have shot him. So I decided not to let that happen.
Yeah, and Crannon's a coward too.
Yeah, well, it's almost like I forgot that you can't shoot characters.
Yeah, I was smart, you know. My guys up front and center, they're bold. You know, they know they're going to win. Freaking Dark Angels. They're secretly heretics. Okay, so I did combat squatting and deployed my 3 plasma weapons, including my sergeant with his plasma pistol, over here with 2 Marines to absorb wounds. The other 5 regular Marines are over here providing cover for my 2 characters who are not cowards, sort of, hiding behind those 5 tactical Marines. They're braver than his are, okay? Shut up. And then my bikers here and my Death Wing over there in Deep Strike. So, and then I'll be able to deploy them at the end of one of my movement phases 9 inches away from any enemy models. So, besides that though, yeah, this is pretty much my whole deployment phase. Do we have anything else to cover at this point?
Nope. Besides, I'll be going first.
Yeah, I rolled a 5 on seizing the initiative. I was 1 away. And he tried to get me to re-roll it. And I declined because getting a 6+ is just, it's out there.
You could have gone first.
Yeah, well, so what? Dark Angels are still going to beat you because you're secretly the loyalists and we're secretly the traitors. I don't know how many Dark Angels fans I just triggered.
Hey man, I'm playing one of the most dedicated chapters to the Codex Astartes ever.
Yeah, but they're not dedicated anymore.
They were driven away.
By voices. Who believes that? Alright, well, we will go ahead and talk to you later. Right after James's turn 1. Alright, toodles.
Bye. XL Pudding, turn 1. Alright. Not a whole lot happened. Literally. I moved the cultists up. I moved Vrosh up. I moved the Hellbrute up. I moved Krenin up. And I moved the Chosen up. And they all advanced. They shot their heavy stubber at those guys.
1 wound. Saved it on a 6+.
Yep, and he saved it. So, yeah, that's turn 1, XL Pudding. Not a whole lot. Bye.
Toodles. Hello again, everyone. Alright, so this is the bottom of my turn 1. Okay, so first off, in the movement phase, I moved up my tactical marines and called wobbly model because I was trying to get them along here and they won't stay, along here and they won't stay there for crap. So this guy and pretty much a line along here. And then I moved up Baltazar and the Librarian to there, and had my my Ravenwing squad move from here to there, turbo boosting, which then makes them juke or jink, however they call it. And then once they actually get in there, that'll up their regular save by 1, and they get a 5-up invuln save. So I didn't realize when I moved them in there that I wouldn't get to shoot with them at all when turbo boosting because they have no assault weapons. So that itself rather sucks a lot. But besides that, pretty good. Alright, so then moving on to the psychic phase, my Librarian only got 1 smite off, and so he smited 1 chosen dead. And then moving into the actual shooting phase, my, actually, technically right before Psychic, I deep striked my Terminators right here. And then in the shooting phase, the Assault Cannon pegged off 1 more Chosen. So his 2 regular Josmos he had in there, they're dead and gone. But he still has all his special weapons. So, then I fired all their Stormbolters off into the Cultist squad there. They're trying to whittle their numbers down. Fired off my Plasma squad here. The cannon hit on a supercharge against that brute over there, but then missed on the actual wounding. I spent a command die, and I'm down to 2 to re-roll that, and wounded successfully that time. He failed the save, and now I've inflicted 2 wounds. And then everything else, 1 bolter and 1 plasma gun scored shots on the cultists, killing 2 of them. And Baltazar potted off a shot at the Chosen, but failed to wound anything. And yeah, that pretty much sums up bottom of my turn 1. So this is the bottom of turn 1 altogether, and now we're moving into turn 2. Anything to add, X-Open?
No, that's all.
Alright, well, we will see you at turn 2. Toodles.
See ya. XL Pudding turn 2. Alright guys, so here is the map. In the movement phase, I pretty much just moved Cultist closer, moved the Hellbrute closer, I moved the Chosen closer to engage, I moved Krenin closer to charge. These guys did not move. And then I went to my shooting phase. Nothing really happened in the shooting phase. I think I put a wound on a biker.
Yes.
The Hellbrute completely missed.
He did it with his... No. The wound came from the Brute's Flamer.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so the cultists didn't shoot any... Or they did shoot, but they didn't hurt anything. The Hellbrute shot his Melt at the Terminators, but biffed it and didn't hit anything. His Heavy Flamer went at the Bikers and caused a wound. Krenin supercharged, or my Chaos Lord if you don't know, supercharged his Plasma Pistol and was able to kill a Terminator.
And one-shotted him because it was supercharged. Regular
Right.
plasma shots only do 1 damage.
Right, so I supercharged it, meaning it goes up to strength 8, 2 damage, but on a roll of a 1 to hit, my model's removed no matter how many wounds it has left. But he's a Chaos Lord, so he gets to reroll 1s. If I roll a 1 on that reroll, though, and I don't spend a command point, he would have died. Oh, and that's where I did use a command point. I failed to wound, I believe, and then I re-rolled it to...
Yeah, because you
to
rolled
wound.
a 1 on the to wound.
Right.
And that's the one that fails. And considering that you were going to one-shot a Terminator, if I failed my invuln save, that was kind of a big deal.
Yep, so I am down to 2 command points because I did decide to re-roll his 2 wound on his plasma. He shot a Terminator, which killed it because he only had 2 wounds. These guys loaded up a bunch more shots into the bikers, and so did my Chosen. But bikers have toughness 5, so everything was wounding on 5s, and it was really hard to hurt them. I charged in everything. Everything made it except for the Hellbrute. The Chosen went into the Terminator squad. And as you can see, there's 2 Terminators left and 1 Chosen left. So
Yeah, the Terminators kind of struck back with a vengeance.
yeah, so everyone in my Chosen squad whiffed their attacks except for the Power Fist.
Which killed 2 Terminators by himself.
He scored both hits, he wounded both times, and both got 2 damage on both damage rolls. So that was 2 Terminators dead.
Yep, so he carried his weight, the rest of his squad didn't.
And yeah, so then I fought the bikers. Cranon didn't get anything in. He saved the 1 wound he did do. He should have re-rolled his attacks, but we forgot it. Or his wounds because of Vrosh, but we forgot it, so whatever. Vrosh then hit back and I think killed another biker with his power axe.
Yeah, and then the cultist whiffed it.
And then the cultist didn't really do anything. So he's down to 1 biker with that squad. I'm down to 1 Chosen with that squad. And yeah, the Terminators are down to 2. He's got his Power Sword champion left and his, what do you call that thing?
Chain Fist.
Chain Fist with a Stormbolter left in that squad. So then he's still got that squad over there, which I didn't do anything against. Anyone over there that I didn't do anything against.
There's one thing I would like to notate right here about the way I divvied up these squads. Now, in my mind, it was important to leave my sergeant over there because it was a more important squad. In retrospect, I would have wanted them up here with a much more battle-active squad. Plus, his plasma pistol would have had 12-inch range to actually do stuff. As well, my plasma gun barely has any range over there. I also would have wanted them over there. In other words, when I did my combat squads in the future, for anyone who wants to run a force like this and do combat squads and wants to leave the plasma cannon back somewhere safe where it can fire from a distance, I'd highly recommend leaving just the 4 regular chump blockers to give the cannon some wounds to absorb, and moving the sergeant and the plasma gun over to the other combat squad so they have some combat effectiveness, and it more divvies up your forces and allows things to be putting the shots into ranges where they count the most.
Other than that, Halbert took another wound during Overwatch that he failed to get in with, and that was pretty much all that happened.
Yep.
Alright, see you guys soon.
Toodles. I regret all of my life decisions. It's okay. We've all been here for a while. But still. Okay, so I got a little cocky at one point or another, but that's alright. Because I moved up the line like freaking crazy. Like literally, my tactical marines moved up right here. We're hugging Cranon's face. And then I moved up my librarian and my freaking, what do you call it? Company Master. There we go. That's what the Dark Angels call it, though it technically isn't in their codex yet, but whatever. Anyway, I moved them all up to there, and then I started shooting like crazy, and one of my shots ended up hitting that guy and reducing him down, because, oh yeah, I supercharged my plasma cannon again, and did 4 wounds to that guy, I think. But anyway, I've been a little ahead of myself. In this psychic phase, after I moved up everything up to here, and I consolidated my Terminators were surrounding as one chosen that was left there. Oh yeah, and my biker fell back. That pretty much sums up my movement phase. I then, in my psychic phase, I smited Cranon, and I got off 3 this time to make up for my 1 last time, taking him down to 2 wounds. Then I shot him with the Combi Plasma from Baltazar and reduced him to 1 wound. And then 2 shots got through from my tactical squad, killing Cranon. At that point, I then had moved on to the assault phase after the supercharged shot from my plasma cannon reduced the brute down to 1 wound. Had my tacticals charge his cultists. I had my librarian charge Vrosh. And when my master here, my company master, charged the brute, his flamer inflicted 2 wounds. I rolled 2 3s on that. It sucked. And it was just enough for his... Well, actually, it wouldn't have mattered. It would not have mattered at all if my company master had been at full health, because in the assault phase, I completely failed to do any damage to the brute. And all I needed to do was 1, and I would have killed it. But I failed all my 2 wound rolls, and in retrospect, I should have at least tried to reroll one of those with a command die, but I thought I'd be fine. But I failed 2 wound rolls in the return of the brute striking back. And it would not have mattered what my wound count was at that point. My company master died. Okay, and then over here my librarian scored 1 single wound on the stupid freaking Vrosh that he failed the save roll on. And then I only did 1 damage on a D3, and that sucked. And then Vrosh was like, oh, that's funny, and hit me 4 times, and I failed 2 of those and took 2 wounds, so now I'm down to half health. Now here's the kicker. He's in contact with the relic, which means he's already picked it up. Will Vrosh go for it? Will he pick up the relic and run? Or will he try to fight this out, hoping the 1 wound brute can beat the 1 wound Terminator, and that he can then extend and kill the librarian and the tactical marines and not have to worry about this guy over here or those guys over there? Will he go for it? Because truth be told, if the brute successfully kills this Terminator, he's killed most of my melee power. And then, mostly, all he has to do if he kills the librarian, which, there's a good chance he will, he mostly just has to get out of range of my plasma cannon here, though he can only move 9 inches, so he won't be able to do that right away. But, And then he's got his, and then I've got my 1 plasma gun here. Now, this is the real danger, because this can hunt Vrosh wherever he goes, and within 24 inches be pelting shots at him. So currently, if Vrosh does decide to run, his biggest threat is this Ravenwing biker with a plasma gun and twin bolters. So this is currently what's up in the air, and this is our tactical review at the bottom of this turn 2. And thing is, though, if he does decide to run, it's 3 whole turns until we even roll to end the game. So, yeah, it's if I were him, I would try to duke out this kind of iffy battle. But truth be told, I think one of the biggest up in the air things is this one right here. However, on my turn, it's a big old thing to shoot. I could debate this all day with myself, but XL Pudding, what's your take on it?
They'll find out when it's my turn.
Man, the suspense is killing me. All right, guys. Well, that was XL Pudding's words, and since we've got nothing else, we'll go ahead and end it. All right, we'll see you at the bottom of XL Pudding's turn 3. Toodles!
XL Pudding, turn 3. And it is not a good turn. My guys, these cultists with their autoguns move down and advance to there. The helper went kablooey. I killed his librarian. And now Vrosh is completely surrounded. He's the one with the dice next to him.
You know what? You're the one who chose to have Vrosh go first. He could have tried to brave the Librarian's attack, and the Brute could have attacked the Terminator first, but no.
Well, we both know that was the right move.
I know.
So now Vrosh has got a 5-man tactical squad on him and a Terminator that can now charge at him if there's room in there for him. And yeah, even if Vrosh manages to He-Man all of that and kill all of them, then it's keep away from that thing. And that's a big if.
Yep, not to mention the rest of the tactical squad, which is going to be laying down cover fire.
So, likelihoods of me winning this game, very slim.
Yes, but you know what they say, the most glorious victories are the ones you grasp or rip out of the jaws of defeat.
Alright, well, we're going to go to Arendalf's turn 3.
It's Aaron Delft.
Aaron.
There is
Ben.
no Aaron. That requires 2 A's. It's Aaron Delft.
Okay. His turn 3.
Hunger for victory. Alright, so at the bottom of turn 3. Oh, there was movement, there was shooting, there was death. So, in the movement phase, I had my tactical squad fall back to watch the fight. I moved my Ravenwing bike here, exactly within 12 inches of Vrosh. And then, I shot at him with everything. Unfortunately, I forgot to shoot my plasma gun in this squad. I only shot my plasma cannon, but it still successfully wounded him once. This time I didn't supercharge it. So, it dropped him down, I believe, at that point, to how many wounds? Was it 4 or 3?
Took him from 3 to 2.
Oh. Well, no. I thought that was where this guy's plasma shot wounded him once, and then his bolter wounded him once. The Ravenwing.
He only had 3 wounds to be in the turn.
Huh, okay, well, plasma cannon I do believe wounded him once. The Ravenwing...
Oh no, he saved. He rolled a 6 on the plasma cannon.
Ah, yes, okay. And then the Ravenwing wounded him twice. One with its plasma gun, the other with its bolter.
No, that's his bolter. When he charged it.
Okay, so the Ravenwing wounded him once with the plasma gun. And then the Terminator, before closing to combat, wounded him once.
All I needed was a 2.
All he needed was a 2. And then he closed to melee combat and slice. He missed 2. So Vrosh was sitting there desperately ducking past 2 of them. 1 hit, 1 wounded. He rolled a 1 when he needed a 6. Which means that on that last one, he not only dug in his power sword into Vrosh, he dug it straight into him. And then let the freaking power blade cook his insides before slicing it up through his head. Vrosh did not die well. The relic is almost within base contact of my guy, and then I can pick it up. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up with my tactical squad, which has more people, or my Terminator, who only has 1 wound. But it's got his cultist squad right over there, and it's his turn next, so I can't pick it up yet. But in any case, he's going to spin the corner with that cultist squad. He's going to see what kind of damage they can do. And yeah, that essentially concludes this entire report. Yeah, so a lot of butt kicking and whatnot. Vrosh did at first stand his ground really well, but in the end...
Now, let's explain that you thought I had this after my charging.
Oh, okay. So, tactically reporting, when XL Pudding was really charging in here earlier and basically had his chosen squad in and successfully charged in here on my bikes, that was where I started to feel like he might have this, because he was getting all his charges off with the exception of the Brute, which gave my squad back here something to shoot at. But he came in, started hitting me, and I thought at that point, oh, he's going to really make this. But then his chosen squad, which, you know, we all know the vague memory of them once being here, so brutally failed, with the exception of their sergeant, who made up for it by killing 2 Terminators.
That wasn't their sergeant.
Oh.
The sergeant was the one with the power maul.
It wasn't even the sergeant who carried the day. Okay.
Yep.
So
He's the hero.
this guy carried the day, and he wasn't even the sergeant.
Killed 4 Terminators on his own.
He killed 4 Terminators on his own and wounded this guy the one time. So he honestly carried his weight hardcore and should be promoted, even though he's dead. But in any case, if these cultists escape, they'll tell of his bravery. But in any case, so far, I've been dominating him pretty badly, though in that particular turn, I honestly thought that the game might be his, because he had gotten so much into melee. But then, what's that guy's name? Cranon failed almost all his attacks, but then he's looking up at James, expecting, hey, let me do my rerolls because Vrosh is right there. But James, naturally, forgot. So, Crannon's sitting there going, well, no wonder you think I'm a loser. You can't remember that Vrosh is right there. So Crannon didn't get any of those rerolls that Vrosh would have given him, and thus failed to do much damage to the bikers, who were then able to fall back because he forgot to consolidate his cultists around them, because he could have, at the end of the turn, consolidated them to cut off my bike so it couldn't have escaped, which means it then wouldn't have been able to wound Vrosh that one time with the bolters, thus allowing my Terminator so perfectly kill him, because it was only one wound that it got through. 1 damage. So, a chain of events that could have led to something different. But long story short, truth be told, yes, I did think he had the game at that point, and his Chosen Squad had some of the worst rolls I have ever seen. With that as an exception, it is quite possible that on that initial charge, he could have and should have done a lot more, potentially speaking. But he did at least kill 2, because his Power Fist guy did carry the day. He hit twice, and he killed twice, and then the following turn, he did it again. He hit twice, he killed twice, and then that very last time, wounded the sergeant. So he did a lot. A lot. It was impressive. Alright, but in any case, besides that, there is nothing else to report at this time. Do you have anything else to add, Exo Pudding?
Now, Techavar. He's got to save the day.
Oh, this guy's name, Techavar, is all up to him and his ragbag, his band of cultists.
Yep, a shooting man of cultists. Now, normally I take cultists in large blobs, so it doesn't matter, but 10-man blobs are like nothing.
Yep, my tactical squads alone would eat them for breakfast.
So we'll see.
All right, well, we'll go ahead and call that there. Thanks, everyone, very much for tuning in. We'll see you at the bottom of XL Pudding's Turn 4. Toodles! Techavar, this is your moment. This is your time. Now, bring your squad to glorious victory. Heavy stubber, miss. Well, autoguns, miss. Oh wait, no, I scored a hit. Did you wound? No. I'm gonna kill the lot of you. 'Cause my shotgun's only got 12 inches of range. And they're over there. Dang it. We're all that's left. Oh, by the way, we weren't even looking at you. I think you shot at us. Vaguely. Anyway, time for us to shoot back. We'll see you guys at the bottom of Turn 4. Toodles. Alrighty. So, I moved up basically everything, including them. And moved them up to here, as you can see. And then pile dried all my shots into the cultists that you don't see. And I killed all but 2 of them. And they rolled a 3 on the morale check, and poof!
Well, they were already above it.
Yeah.
So no matter what, they were going to be losing people, and they only had 2 left. So, yeah. What was the guy's name? Stan or something?
Huh?
The cultist leader's name.
Tetchvar.
Tetchvar turned around, saw his whole squad was dead, except for the heavy stubber. And he's like, my whole squad's dead. And the heavy stubber goes like, no, dude, I'm still alive. He's like, I have to run by myself. Heavy stubber's just like, really? I got the biggest gun. You can't see me. Can't see me at all. And then Tetchvar ran. And the heavy stubber got shot.
So Ben didn't table me.
It still counts.
My guys ran as cowards.
That's not something to be proud of.
For cultists it is.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so, and I kind of forsook the relic. I wasn't holding it. So, objectively speaking, while I do win this game, the Dark Angels were not here for the relic. They were here just to fight Crimson Slaughter. This was a Crimson Slaughter relic, and we leave it here because, we didn't know what it was.
And we thought that it was something for the Dark Angel secret that everyone knows about.
Yeah, so the box will remain here. Continually undiscovered, almost exactly where it was. Because that's right where Vrosh died when he was holding it.
He was the only one to pick it up by accident.
Yeah, he picked it up without meaning to. And who knows, maybe he glimpsed inside and saw what darkness may lay within. Alright, well, we're going to go ahead and be back shortly with a overall game review and our last and final thoughts on it. So, we will talk to you then. Toodles!
Bye.
Alright, everybody. Game overview. So basically what we've determined is that Imperium still pretty overpowered, Dark Angels especially as one of the main original founding legion/chapters. And they absolutely whooped Crimson Slaughter here. And we've ran different scenarios through in our head, but every single one still gives Imperial forces, the Dark Angels, a serious advantage. And all things considered, XL Pudding was playing to his advantages. He was playing tactically. He was playing smarts. We both made our fair share of mistakes. But regardless, even if we factored out every single one of those, as we said, different scenarios, it still put me in the advantage almost every single time. So with that in mind, we our final verdict on the matter is that Chaos is still underpowered in 8th. It's still, at least for Dark Vengeance, doesn't quite stand up to a melee. And especially in 7th, we have no idea what Games Workshop was thinking that Chaos would have any chance, this force would have any chance at standing up to its Dark Angel counterparts. So, what were you thinking, Games Workshop? But, any thoughts, XL Pudding?
Well, yeah, I was just going to mention. Okay, so I did a quick draft of both teams. And in point-wise, you're like 250 points higher than me if you were going for an even game.
Alright. And that gives me a bit of an indomitable event. Okay, let's think about this. How much is the Brute by itself?
It's like 100 and something.
Oh, yeah, because in 7th, Dreadnoughts were only 100 points. So you could practically give yourself 2 more Brutes to equalize that point value. Now, if you had 2 more Brutes in this game...
Yeah, 156.
156. Okay, so that'd be 1 more Brute and some more Cultists, essentially speaking.
Or another squad of regular Marines, or...
I don't know, some kind of weapon that has 36 inches of range that isn't a joke.
Actually, yeah, what is my max range on this force? 34?
No, 36 inches with a heavy stubber.
Oh, yeah, that is. That's
and it's a bit of a joke. So, all around, Dark Vengeance, 7th and 8th, was a bit of a joke balancing-wise. There wasn't any real balance.
I mean, we can't say what it would have been for 7th edition, because we never played the starter set versus starter set. But playing enough games of Chaos versus Imperium, the outcome is generally going to be the same, in my opinion.
So, the general verdict back in 7th and in 8th is that Chaos players have to play smarter and generally a little bit luckier than their Imperial counterparts in order to actually stand a genuine chance.
For these units.
For these units. Now, we're going to be playing with the Primaris versus Nurgle in our next one. Just the starter kits, doesn't matter point values or power level, and we're going to see how that goes and what the balancing is. We theorize in that one that the Sorcerer is going to play a big difference, which will make our third game, combining Dark Vengeance and Dark Imperium boxes together, very interesting, because both sides will have a Psyker at that point.
That's another thing to point out, too, in this is Space Marines had the Sorcerer and the Deep Striking ability.
Yes, and though I didn't use my Deep Striking ability very well, it still put my Terminators right dab somewhere where I'd made a tactical error and only had a very small amount of Marines between me and a very large melee force, so I dropped my Terminators in to make up for that and keep my guys safe, and that did help me because I realized I made a mistake and I made up for it, and I was able to because there's no variable, there's no scatter. And mind you, back in 7th, there was scatter, so that didn't factor into their thoughts, but still, Dark Vengeance in 8th edition is definitely still favoring Dark Angels without any doubt in my mind.
But my models are painted better.
Yeah, anyways, but we do have one final thing to cover. You remember how we said that Chaos players have to play smarter? Well, Cranon went into this knowing that he wasn't likely to win with his current forces. So what he did was he hired a band of mercenaries to grab the relic while all the Dark Angels' backs were turned. Yeah, they get out of here without a scratch. Oh well. Guess whatever the Dark Angels were here to protect and the Crimson Slaughter were here to steal is now in Crimson Slaughter hands. Oh well. Brown coats forever. Anything else to add, XL Pudding?
No, I hope the Plague Marines do better.
Yeah, and we'll go ahead and see you guys in our next one. If you have any thoughts, feedback, or anything, please leave them down in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It always helps. And if you're new to this channel, and you genuinely enjoy this content, please consider subscribing. In any case, don't get into too much trouble or it's always up to you. Toodles!